guys, May here, and today I'm going to be doing my K-pop tag for the year of 2018. That's the year we're currently in. And yeah, I'm super excited about it. This is, I said this in my Secret Santa video too, but arguably one of my favorites of the year because, I don't know, I just love looking back on the year, and I love talking about all the albums that came out this year. And this year, I've heard a lot of people say it wasn't a very good year for K-pop, but I personally found so much music I loved and enjoyed this year, like almost too much music. So I have a lot of things to talk about. We're just gonna go ahead and get started so this video isn't 8 years long. So I will leave the questions that I'm about to answer down in the description box down below. This was originally created by Random Me 2011, like years and years and years ago. I've been doing it since it first came out, so I like to do it every single year. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into the video. These questions were created by Random Me 2011, but everybody adds or gets rid of some questions, either between years or between channels. Like, you could watch somebody else's K-pop album tag and it could be completely different than mine. So yes, I tag all of you to answer these questions. So yes, let's get started. So the first question, of course, that I always like to start with is my favorite album of 2018. And this year, because there were so many releases, I was like, what if I do like favorite full-length album, mini album, and single album, so I can use 3 albums and reason it? That didn't really work. So we'll start with my favorite full-length albums. I have 3. Everything else, the mini album and the single album, I was able to choose just one. But full-length albums, there were a lot this year. I'm going to start with the most obvious full-length album. This album I chose not because I'm complete trash, not because this is the only full-length or the only group thing Infinite has done this year, album-wise. I chose this because I have been listening to this album basically all year, and Tell Me has consistently been one of my favorite songs, like one of my top songs of this year. So yeah, I love all these. I love all the songs in this album. I listen to them literally all the time. I can't hate anything Infinite does. I don't know how else to explain it, but yes, I started my year with Infinite. This album came out in January, and I'm still listening to it in December. So that should tell you how amazing this album is. Knew I wanted to include this group somewhere in this video because I feel like I talked about them a lot this year, but I wasn't really expecting it to be this question until I thought about it and was like, I really should put them here. So I have BTS's Tear here. So the other 2 parts are not in this video, spoiler alert, but this is here because I have been listening to this album since it came out. I've been listening to it literally all year. I think Tear is still my favorite part of the trilogy, even though the next part has like all of the songs from Tear on it. I still wanted to count this because I feel like the songs that were added after Tear were not enough to make it above just Tear as a whole, my personal opinion. But I am absolutely in love with this album. I listened to it all through the summer, all year long. I thought Her was good, but Tear was just incredible. This is an incredible album, and I'm sure you've heard people talk about it, but I didn't like all of the songs at first, but now I do like all of the songs. I didn't like the Steve Aoki song the first time I heard it, and then Produce 48 did a cover of it, and then I started listening to the BTS version again, and like I loved it so much more. And like, I love every single song on this album. There's no question about it. It's just really good. So the next full-length album has not been out nearly as long as the other 2, but still just as important. I've still been listening to it just as much as those other 2, and it is, you can't even tell what album it is. It's Monsta X's second full-length album. I loved their first full-length album. That was also in my favorite album of the year in 2017? Whatever year Beautiful came out. Every song on this album is also so good. Again, I listen to it a lot. It really depends on my mood what I listen to from this, because I feel like there's a large variety of music in this. The other 2 full-length albums, you could say that as well, but there's like both direct ends of the spectrum in this album, I feel like. So it really depends what mood I'm in, what I'm listening to for this. I do really enjoy this album as well, and I'm very, very happy to have it, and very happy that they are my ults. So yeah. So mini album was 17's You Make My Day. This was literally no question that this was going to be my favorite mini album of the year. I adore this, and there are other mini albums in this video that I really like, but I just did not put here. The title track, Oh My, is super good. Holiday, I love it. Moonwalker, I listen to literally all the time. This is one of 17's best mini albums. Definitely go ahead and check it out. It's so good. And then the single album, Pristine V's Like a V. I've been listening to this literally since it came out. This is still one of my favorite songs, and the B-side Spotlight is so good as well. Pristine didn't do a lot this year. This was like the extent of what they did, so definitely listen to this and give Pristine some love because Pledis is completely ignoring their existence besides that, so it's a good time. Yes, so those are my favorite albums. Next question is favorite packaging of this year. And there wasn't any packaging that I got that like really blew me away this year. So I just chose like what I've been liking lately. And also I didn't do favorite photo book, but this probably would be one of my favorite photo books if I was doing that question. Eyes1's Color Eyes is my favorite packaging for the year. I've really been liking a book packaging. You guys know that I really like book packaging. And I really like the amount of random things in this album too. I feel like a lot of albums I bought this year had like 8 random things in it. And I feel like this had a very good amount of random things in it to the point where it was like really exciting to get all of the random things, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, I have like 8 things to collect from this album before I can move on. Like, I believe there's 5 really per member that you have to collect, which is a breeze these days, and there's 2 versions of the album. So yes, I really like these sort of, I don't know, this photo shoot is absolutely gorgeous. All of the girls look so gorgeous in this, and I love how bright and colorful this concept is too. I love colors, and you guys know I'm not a very black and white photo book kind of person, and it's also thin so it fits on shelf well and just has a pretty spine. It's just a pretty album. Least favorite packaging, there's a couple albums in this that I could talk about, but we're gonna talk about one that you probably knew was going to be in this video. You might be surprised by which one it is. Between like, I got a couple albums in the mail and I was like, yeah. So, man, I really only wanted to say good things about this album in this video because I adored this album. This was almost my most anticipated album of this year. I don't know if I grabbed an album from that, so I might count this as anticipated as well. Most anticipated because I was so excited for it. All the teasers for One More Time sounded fantastic. I was in love with all of the teaser photos and pictures, and everybody looks so gorgeous in this concept. Both versions of this album are just awful packaging. You got the photo book in a bag, a CD in a digipack, in a bag. It's all in a bag and there's no way to keep it all together. The other album that you might have thought I would have held up for this would be NCT's first full-length album, NCT 127's first full-length album, Regular. But honestly, that album stays together pretty well. And I like the more sturdiness of the file folder that everything came in, though I'm still confused why they used a file folder, but whatever. But this is all in a bag and it's just not cute, and I just wish that it was cute because this whole album is really cute, and even the limited edition, the box is really cute, but I still feel like I need to keep everything in the bag because I have this one in the bag and I just don't know, like I don't know. So yeah, but also I'm gonna do most anticipated album right now. So I was so excited for this album, more excited than anything else. Well, I won't say anything else. Anything else a Super Junior full group had released this year. More than Pause and more than the repackage. I liked Lo Siento, but this was definitely so much more my style. And yeah, they've never had a mini album either, so it was really exciting that Super Junior got a mini album. And I just love the whole style of this album besides the packaging. So that makes me really sad. Next we have favorite rookie albums. So favorite girl rookie album. So I chose 2 for this because I feel like girls killed it this year. Girl groups literally killed it this year. It did that. They were fantastic. I didn't really start collecting too many more boy rookies this year, but girl rookies I collected quite a few. So the first album I'm going to talk about is probably, I don't know if it's which one's more obvious, but it's G-Idol's I Am, and I only hold this up because they haven't released anything, and if they had released a physical for Hun, I probably would be holding that up because I much prefer that title track and concept, and I just love that comeback from them, and I wish I'd had a physical release. G-Idol took the world by storm this year, and they did a fantastic job, and this whole album is really good. And while I prefer Han as the title track, La Tata is really good, Dollar is really good, Maze is really good, Don't Text Me is really good, I Go Chapeau is really good. All of the songs on the album are really good, and I feel like they're a super talented group, and they're definitely a girl group that even if you weren't like a huge fan of their music, you have to admit that they did some scary things on the charts with their debut album, and that they're gonna be monster rookies for sure. And yeah, I'm really excited for 2019 for them. I can't wait to see what that brings them. The other girl rookie album that I had to talk about this year, which I feel like weird talking about them because I talked about them as rookies last year too, but Luna debuted this year. So they can still count as rookies because they debuted as a whole group. So this is, I liked that G-Idol album, but this album is so freaking good. It's so good. I love every single song on it. This isn't my favorite version of the album. I just was looking at my Luna albums on my shelf and I grabbed one. Absolutely adore this album. Favorite is really good. Hi Hi is really good. Just every Stylish is good. Perfect Love is really good. Every song on this album is like my favorite song on the album, and I think you're going to be able to see that from my top 50 of the second half of the year and also my top 50 of the whole year because I'm going to do 2 videos. So good. Really love Luna. I love all of the girls so much. I love all of their concepts. I love all of their solo albums. I think they're all so freaking talented and so cute, and I just am so excited for Luna to take over the world along with G-Idol because like future queens. Boy groups, like I said, I didn't really start collecting that many boy groups this year that weren't like temporary boy groups, so the only one that's still going to be around next year is Stray Kids. I hope they're still around next year. I don't see why they wouldn't be. So Stray Kids, I Am Who. I chose this album because this is my favorite album from them. My absolute favorite album from them. And while JYP quickly got them with the like just annoying like random things in this album, I still feel like they haven't, well no, they're at the level of annoying of GOT7 and like not Twice's level. Twice is like really annoying random things wise, but they're at GOT7's level for really annoying thing wise. So excited about this. I absolutely adore this album. I like every single song on this album. Whatever month this came out in, which I'll look up before this and I'll link that video up above right now. That playlist video or that top 20, whatever I was doing at that point, had so many songs from this album in it. And I liked Stray Kids' previous albums up to this, but this was just like, it completely blew me away and completely made me trash for Stray Kids. So I adore these boys so much. I wish JYP didn't put 8 million random things in their albums, but I can say that about every single JYP group. So album that surprised me this year, I have 3 for this as well. And the reason I have 3 for this is because a lot of things surprised me this year. I went into this year and was expecting certain things and came out loving a lot of other things. The first thing I'm going to talk about, when I hold this up, I hold up all 4 versions. I just didn't feel like carrying all 4 over here and trying to hold up all 4 for you. But The Story of Light by SHINee. This didn't surprise me in terms of like how much I liked it and blah, blah, blah. It surprised me that it was a thing and that it happened. And after last year, the end of last year, the anniversary is coming up and I'm like low-key dreading it a little bit. But I'm so proud of SHINee this year. I'm always proud of SHINee, but I'm so incredibly proud of SHINee this year because they got through something that was so hard, and they came into 2018 and everyone was like, you know, we're gonna not see SHINee all year, they're gonna take the year off, or they're gonna release like maybe a couple solo albums from the members, which we got those too. But the fact that they did 4 albums as a full group is just incredible, and I don't think that any other album I show you can be as much of a surprise as this, that this is a thing and that it happened and that it's so good. Also music on here is so good. Boys look so good. They always look so good. But yeah, I'm just super proud of SHINee for this year. So the next album that surprised me this year is like not as emotional as that. NCT 2018. I did a rant video earlier this year saying that I was NCT trash. I did it in like February or something like that. And that was like when I was really starting to get into NCT. I really got into NCT this year. I really liked NCT 127 since Limitless, but I really got into NCT as a whole this year. So 2018, this was, if you're not familiar with this, this was when every single unit of NCT released a bunch of songs. NCT U had a couple songs, 127 had a song, Dream had a song. So they all released songs up until this album, and they added a few new members, Jungwoo and Lucas and Kun. And not that we should talk about that, but I was really surprised how much I liked every single song on this album except Black on Black. I don't really like that very much. I was really surprised how invested I had gotten into NCT. Yeah, this album was one of my favorites from the first half of 2018, and I was just really surprised how much I liked it, and it's just so good. I used this as my like surprise at the end of video album because I was like, I don't think a lot of people expect me to talk about this album, but I really enjoy it. So yes, I just realized that everything I'm about to show you for surprise albums are SM albums. I got a lot of SM albums this year. Oh my goodness. The last album is EXO's 5th full-length album, Don't Mess With My Tempo. At the time of filming this video, the repackage has not come out yet, and I therefore do not have it, so I cannot show you that or talk about that. I have to film my end of the year videos a little early this year. Yes, I'm really surprised about this because I, as you guys know, used to collect, or maybe you don't know, I used to collect EXO very thoroughly when they debuted, and then maybe like 2 years ago I decided I didn't want to collect EXO anymore, and then this year I gave EXO another chance, and I really like this album. So this is a definitely surprise how much I like this album, because I've liked EXO's title tracks, but I just haven't loved their B-sides until their most previous album, the Kpop album. I liked the B-sides quite a bit from that album, and not just like 1 or 2 songs, but like pretty thoroughly liked that album. So this also pretty thoroughly liked that album. Have not heard Love Shot, but I'm really loving the teasers for it so far. Non-Korean album this year. I didn't buy a lot of non-Korean albums this year. I bought a couple of singles. I haven't really been buying a lot of Japanese stuff the past couple of years. But D&E did release their Japanese album, their newest Japanese album, Style, and this was kind of like what Day6 did in Korea last year, where they did like singles every single month. Super Junior D&E did that in Japan this year. I absolutely adore it. This is also like not great packaging, SM. This isn't SM's fault. This is the ELF version, by the way. Every single song on this album is so good. The only one I probably don't like that much is Hot Babe. Not a fan. Polygraph and Sunrise and You Don't Go and Lose It and Circus. Take It Slow, If You. Oh, all great Japanese songs. I think all of them are original. Yeah, they're all original Japanese songs, so it's very impressive. Really liked this album. This is a new thing for me this year, is my favorite band album. I bet you know what it is. So, Day6's Shoot Me, Youth Part 1. Again, at the time of filming this, the second part of Youth has not come out. I'm loving the audio teaser, though, for that. I listened to it yesterday and I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a really good album. I love every single song on this album. I really got into bands this year. I have a couple of band albums I'm going to talk about later, too, or maybe just one other one. But anyways, love bands this year. Really got into K-rock, pop, that whole genre. Day6 definitely became like one of my favorite groups this year. Definitely are my favorite band. So there's that. And I just like am so excited for their new album release and also for 2019, and just I'm so sad I couldn't go to their concert because I had to do adult things and just couldn't take time off to do both these adult things and also go see Day6. I'm really sad. So hopefully they do another world tour next year and I can see them because I really want to see them. Next is favorite Subunit album. So my favorite Subunit album, usually I'll either do Subunit or solo depending on the year. This year I'm doing both, so yay. So favorite Subunit album, of course, this year was Super Junior D&E's About You. I love Super Junior D&E. Donghae is my ultimate bias and love Super Junior, and they're my favorite subunit, and they're finally back from the military and doing things again and just all great things. So About You, super good. It wasn't really what I was expecting, but also I love it. So About You, its title track, super good. Rum Diddy is really good. Living in Evidence 2, so good. I love Evidence, like the first part. Illusion, Obsessed is so good. Solo album. So I have 2 solo albums to talk about this year because I bought a lot of solo albums. Some years I don't buy any solo albums, and this year I bought I think 7 or 8. Like, it was a lot of solo albums. Probably more than that, actually. I'm looking around at my collection and I'm like, I bought a lot of solo albums. Anyways, the first one is Junghyun's. This was so freaking special because before everything, before whatever, like back during times when times were normal for SHINee and everything was normal for SHINee, Junghyun was my favorite soloist from SHINee. There weren't really many soloists from SHINee, it was him and Taemin, but you know, he was always my favorite soloist. He's also my second favorite member in SHINee after Minho, but still waiting on that mixtape. This album, when we found out about this album and nobody was really sure what was going to come from this album that had been finished before Junghyun passed, and I'm just so happy that the proceeds from this went to a great cause and that we got this last gift from Jungin, because you know, if he had finished it, that he wanted us to have it. And just the, like, this isn't something I listen to a lot. I will say that. It's not something I listen to casually because I just cannot. I just can't. Like, I have to be in a certain place and mood for it. But I am happy to have it, and I'm so happy that it exists. It's just really nice to have this last little thing from Jungin. And it's also the only SHINee album I've successfully put a sticker on this year. The sticker. Very happy with Poet Artist for sure. This is a much happier, that's happy too, but this is a much happier release. Wooyeon's second solo album that's been rumored for literally like 2.5 years now, and I loved the promotions for this that he got, and I love the attention for this album that he got, and I feel like a lot of non-in-spirits really enjoyed this album, and Korea really liked this album, and it was just really nice because it's so he's so talented, and he has a single coming out on the 13th, and I'm so excited that Woollim is like pushing Wooyeon. Like, it's great. Like, please love Wooyeon. Everybody love Wooyeon. There's a track song in here, Smile, which means that Wooyeon should do an all-rock album because he would kill it. I Swear with Dongwoo was really good. I Love You is such a fantastic song. I just love this whole album so much, and I just love him so much. Love him so literally so much. Album released this year that could have been better. I have to go grab it because I forgot to bring it over here. Unless there's something else over here that I feel like could have been better, but I really don't like to repeat groups besides Ultimates in these videos, but I'm gonna talk about Stray Kids again. So I said so many good things about wherever that went. I loved I Am Who. I Am You, I have less good things to say about. I was like a little disappointed in this album as a whole. I still like the title track, and I like 2 other songs on this album, but I liked really so many more songs on the previous album before this, so I'm a little disappointed in it. The boys still look super gorgeous, and I feel like they were just playing with their style a little bit. And this was also like a super fast comeback, so not that I'm saying it's not a quality album, but when comebacks are that pushed together, sometimes I worry about the quality of the albums. But anyways, hopefully this is just a fluke in their discography for me, and we will be back to normal loving Stray Kids soon. Still love them. Don't love them any less because of this album, but my love for them has been growing, and for this album, I feel like it grew just like a tiny bit, like not as much as it's been growing. Favorite temporary group album. So this year we had a lot of temporary groups. I feel like I always look back at these videos as like what was this year, what was 2018, and I feel like 2018 was temporary groups. There were so many that were released this year. So, favorite temporary group album is 101's first full-length album, Power of Destiny. I am not gonna lie to you, I have been supporting 101, buying all of their albums throughout their entire contract, but there were a couple albums in the middle that I was like, don't really care too much for these B-sides. I'm not gonna go into which albums, this is not the video for that. This album came out and I was listening to this in my car. It's been a thing recently where I'll just put an entire album in my car and listen to it while I'm driving instead of like sitting down and listening to it, because I've just been too busy to do that recently. So I put this in my car, and it was like the complete opposite of when I put that Stray Kids album in my car. It was like, oh my gosh, like every single song is so good. I don't have a complaint about this album at all. I'm really sad that 101's disbanding, but I'm really happy that we got this before they disbanded. I'm just gonna treasure this album for the rest of my life because it's just a fantastic release. Now we have my recommendations. It's always the longest part of the video, so I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to go through these pretty quickly. All of these albums, mostly, they were really good and I really enjoyed them, but like nobody was talking about them when they came out. So we're gonna start with VAV's Spotlight, their third mini album. I cannot believe that this didn't get like any recognition. This album is so good. I agree that their previous 2 mini albums, this is their third, were not very good, and I probably will never go purchase those, but every song on this album is songs that I've enjoyed. It's since their member lineup change up, so every single song on this album is so good. Dance With Me, Flower You, ABC Middle of the Night, Give It To Me, She's Mine, Gorgeous is my favorite song on this album. It's so good. Please go listen and love VAV because they're like my new Crush Jean. Not that I still don't love Crush Jean, because I do, but Golden Child's Wish. When is everyone gonna stop sleeping on Golden Child? I need to know. I loved every song on this album. This is their best mini album to date. Again, saw no one talking about it because I came out at such a busy time. This I think is Golden Child finally finding a style that works for everyone's ages and also just their concept in general. I feel like this was just such a good fit for them, and I'm so excited for 2019 for Golden Child because they need to do so well. They need to do really well, so please love them and listen to this giant album. PHOTOBOOK, I almost put this in my favorite full-length albums of this year because oh my gosh, every song is so good. But I couldn't have 4 full-length albums, so this one got cut, so it ended up here instead. But that doesn't mean it's any less quality than the 3 full-length albums I showed you earlier. It's so good, and it smells good. So if you're like into that, definitely would recommend buying this album. It's like a perfume concept, and Scentist is like one of my favorite songs of 2018. This album got a lot of attention, but I'm really impressed with it, so I'm going to talk about it. This is Oh My Girl's Remember Me. I feel like the title track threw a lot of people off, and then nobody really followed up with the rest of the album, but I personally love every single song on this album. This is the album really that started me just putting on an album in my car because I wanted to listen to the whole album all the time. So yes, so good. My favorite song is Twilight, but all good. Almost did this for my favorite girl group, favorite girl rookie of this year. GWSN, fantastic debut. I also feel like they're going to be Monsta rookies to look out for in 2019. I really wish they had done something else, but they promoted this album for literally so long. So yeah, Seokyoung, who was one of my favorite Produce 101 Season 1 girls, is in this group, and I was so excited about her debut, and I ended up loving every other single member in this group and every single song in this album. Yolowa is my favorite. It's the fan favorite, but every song is really good. And then last but not least, we have N.Flying's How Are You. I randomly heard a song from this the other day and had completely forgotten how much, I think it was Anyway, I had completely forgotten how much I absolutely adore this album. N.Flying released some incredible music this year and did not get the attention they deserve for this album. So I am here to show you my favorite one, How Are You. Up All Night is really good. Anyway is really good. How Are You Today is the title track. So freaking good. Just please listen to this and love N.Flying. Next, they're my second favorite band after Day 6. Incredible. That was it. Those are all of the albums that I have to talk about this year. I talked about literally so many, and I bought so many more albums in this, and if I didn't talk about an album that I bought, doesn't mean I don't love it, but these are my absolute favorites from this year, I think. Overall, I thought 2018 was a super good year for K-pop. I know a lot of people have said otherwise, but I really enjoyed everything that came out this year. My alts were all very active. Oh, I forgot to include A-Pink's album in here. Oh no, A-Pink's newest album was really good too. 1 in 6, A-Pink 1 in 6. Please listen to that. It's so fantastic, and the concept change was incredible, and I'm so excited for an A-Pink's comeback in January because it's going to be incredible. I can't believe I forgot to show that. That makes me so sad. My other favorite mini album from this year. I'm gonna go grab it. I feel bad. Random album recommendation from this year is this one. I Like That Kiss is so good. Don't Be Silly is so good. All Right is really good. Their title track, Il Duo Upsa, is so good. So good. This was incredible for A-Pink. Such a crazy concept for them, but I loved it, and I hope you loved it too, because you should love A-Pink because they're doing great things, and they're taking a break from Japan to promote fully in Korea, and it just makes me so happy because I love them so much. I'm so excited for their January comeback. Anyways, that's really it this time. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to leave your answers in the comment section down below, or if you did make a video, go ahead and link it and I will check it out. I really enjoy these end of the year videos because everybody's are always so different. So again, thank you Randomly 2011 for creating this tag. I'll link her channel in the description box down below, or maybe in the end card, one of the two, maybe both, I don't know. I love doing this tag every single year. Like the K-pop Secret Santa, it's become a tradition in the K-pop unboxing community. So yes, if you're new to the unboxing community this year, definitely take the chance to participate. And of course check out Randomly 2011's channel and everyone else who does this video, because like I said, I tag everyone who watches this, but I know a lot of my friends are planning on doing this anyways. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys very soon. Bye!